Welcome. Welcome again to AD Topcasts. Trump is shaking the world in Ukraine, Palestine, Panama, Greenland, everywhere. Today is back home in the US. In his proposal for 2025 budget, Trump scared everybody, from people who don't want to work, from people who had to lose weight, from people who need medical assistance, and people who need food. Everybody's scared right now. Trump is going to try to save the money so he can fight the deficit that US state is facing for years. It's going to be hard, but Trump promise is going to happen. So he's cutting Medicaid coverage for most kids. The news say 1 in 5 kids was covered by Medicaid, and Trump is going to cut 8 billion in Medicaid. As you know, there's a bunch of people in this country who don't want to work because they got assistance from the government. Trump is going to cut 2 billion plus in food stamp. Thanks to Trump, he didn't talk about our housing assistance. He only talking about the Medicaid and food stamp. Guess what? Everything is coming. We don't know what Trump is gonna do tomorrow. But now it's Medicaid and food stamp. Do I care a lot for this stuff? No, I don't. Because this Medicaid anyway is kind of scum. If Medicaid is now allowed for every kid in the US, I don't see the point anyway. Because we don't have my kids doesn't have Medicaid anyway. We don't make that much money, but we don't have a Medicaid. If every kid in the US doesn't have access to food, I don't see the point of giving free money to people because they don't want to work as food stamp. I don't see the point. Now, the Medicaid also was going to cover people who need to lose weight. It is a major issue in this country. So Trump is going to cut down. Medicaid is not going to cover those kind of stuff. Insurance is not going to cover those kind of stuff. You need to watch what you're eating. So watch. I'm going to show you how people are crying about it, losing a food stamp and a Medicaid, while some other people never have this assistance anyway. Guess what? Some people are crying, some people are happy because there is too many people. There are too many people who didn't get coverage when they should. And there's too many people who have coverage because they just don't want to work. And the people who work hard every day to pay bills, they also pay too much tax to be able to cover those people who don't want to work. You understand the game right here. And that's why Trump won this election, because that's what he campaigned on. Bring people back to work. That's what he's doing. Watch.
President Trump has endorsed a House budget plan that would make sweeping cuts to Medicaid. Under the proposed budget bill, roughly $880 billion would be cut from Medicaid, and $230 billion would be cut from the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program known as Food Stamps. The president's endorsement on social media came just hours after he said he would not touch funding for programs like Medicaid, which provides health insurance for Americans with limited income. Dr. Celine Gounder joins us now. She's a CBS News medical contributor and editor-at-large for public health at KFF Health News. So, doctor, what more can you tell us about who Medicaid serves?
So Medicaid covers people who are low income, so low income households. It also covers pregnant women, children, and people with disabilities. And about 1 in 5 Americans are covered by Medicaid. So it really does account for a huge proportion of health insurance coverage.
Number one, that's not true. They said it covered a low-income household. We are a low-income household. We applied for this Medicaid. We was not allowed to have it.
Coverage. And to go even further, almost half of kids are on Medicaid. About 40% of all pregnancies are covered by Medicaid. So it's a really important program for women and children.
Quite startling statistics there. What would be the overall effect if these cuts were to happen?
Well, we're talking about huge cuts, right? Over $1 trillion over 10 years, over $800 billion from Medicaid. There are a few different ways in which this could play out. So one is that you could see the federal match for Medicaid go down. So what proportion of the total cost? Right now, it's about 80%. That's 70%, that's covered by the federal government. The states account for about another 30%. But let's say the federal government gives less, you're not going to be able to cover as many people. One of the concerns is Medicaid expansion, which added about 20 million Americans, low-income Americans, to the Medicaid rolls. That may have to be rolled back in some states because they can't afford to continue with that. Another proposal has been work requirements. And by the way, most of those low-income people who are added through Medicaid expansion, they actually do work. It's people like who work at Walmart and so on, who do not get health insurance through their jobs, who are basically being covered by Medicaid. So work requirements are another way that they are looking at trying to get people off of Medicaid. And then finally, block grants, where you cap the amount of money the federal government gives, regardless of how many people might need or want to be on Medicaid, and really.
Yeah, I don't know why people crying about this proposal. Democrats was just giving money to the people who don't want to go to work because they are expecting people who work hard to pay tax for them. Look, Trump is saying what? You have to go to work. If you don't go to work, you're not gonna get any assistance. And if you can't find a job, we're gonna give you assistance, but you need to provide a proof that you've been looking for a job. I mean, it makes sense, 100%. If you can work, go to work. If you can't find a job, then you deserve to be assisted. But if you can find a job, go to work. That's how you take care of yourself. Because this food stamp, this assistance will keep you down because they don't even give you enough to be able to make your living. They just keep you down, keep you down. You stay poor. You can't take a vacation. You can't buy a nice vehicle. You can't do anything, nothing at all, because you can't even buy good stuff. They even limited what you can buy from this type of stuff. So go to work. Go to work. That's the solution, and that's what most people are saying. If you can't find a job, then get assistance. Why you get free money from people who are working hard?
Really tighten up the budget that way.
Before we let you go, you and I have spoken before, really at the end of President Biden's term, about this proposal from his administration for Medicaid and Medicare and insurers to help pay for these weight loss drugs. And now it looks like the Trump administration is going to be pulling away from that. What do we know and what are the pros and cons?
So toward the end of the Biden administration, there was a proposal made by Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. So those are, the two big government insurance programs in the country. Medicare covers people who are over 65 and some people also with disabilities. And they proposed redefining obesity as an illness that in and of itself, whether or not you have diabetes along with it or cardiovascular disease, that just having obesity was enough reason to
qualify.
Right, exactly, to qualify for these medications. Now, these are very expensive medications.
Yes. $1,000 a month?
Yeah, $1,000 a month, over $10,000 a year. And so if you're talking about...
Wow, $1,000 a month for these medications. That's not a disability anyway. If you have a disability, it makes sense 100%. I would be happy to pay tax to help you out. But if you just don't control what you eat, you became too big, you start to feel like you are heavy, and you're expecting people, taxpayer money, to pay you $1,000 a month. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And that's not what Trump is trying to stop. But how would that even happen? Look, if they want to fix this issue, if they want to fix obesity in this country, they want first to regulate these food process companies. They want to make sure people eat good stuff. They don't want they want to start from this restaurant, the fast food. They want to start from there, fix it. Don't let them to give people a lot calories, that food that not even necessary. So people can start to eat good food. Then that's how they should start from. Instead of making people who work every day pay for the people who don't know to control what they eat. If you don't control what you eat, you know you're gonna end up being having those issues. So if you have a disability, it makes sense. If you don't deserve to get this money. That's what Trump is doing, and the people are crying all over the state, and I don't understand why they do that. But guess what? That's what Trump campaigned on, and he's doing it. Save this money, cut this tax, so people who work hard can have money in their pocket. I can't tell you how much we spend on we pay on a tax, and how much we struggle to pay these bills. While people who don't work, they get free money, free housing, free food stamp, free medical assistance, free Medicaid, and free everything. But people who wake up every morning going to work, they can't have medical assistance. They can't have all this food stamp. They can't have all this Medicaid. They can't have all this money, but they want just to keep just encouraging people to stay home and not going to work. It's not going to happen, and Trump is changing it. Like I say, I don't I don't really believe in in everything that Trump is doing, but anytime he does something that makes sense, I will say it and I will support it. That's how I feel, and that's what I'm doing.
Covering everybody on Medicare and potentially also Medicaid who fits that criteria, you're talking about a huge cost to the federal government. Now, there are pros and cons, right? So could you be saving lives? Could you be saving healthcare costs by doing that?
In the long run.
In the long run, we're not completely sure about that. The jury's still out on that. But the Trump administration is now saying they will pull back on that promise to expand coverage.
Okay, Dr. Celine Gounder, thank you.
Cut it off. Cut it off. People, if you give people free money, everybody will take it. I will take it too. I will take it. Stay home and be able to get time to be with my kids. I don't have time to be with my kids. I have to work every day. Give me free money too. I need that too. Unfortunately, I can't. We can't get Medicaid for my kids too. I will take free money. Seriously. Oh, look, I'm gonna show you a few video on TikTok how people are enjoying this food stamp, this assistance. People got too many kids, so they can get too much food stamp assistance, child support, and just stay home. Drink, 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 drink. Some of this video may not be true, but it is. You're just gonna get an idea of what's going on. Check. When it's food stamp day, I got 7 kids. That's the game. There's people who are working somewhere every day, 2, 3 jobs, try to make a living, and the government is gonna take too much tax, so these people can have some food stamp. Look, that's $400. $400. Can you imagine wake up in the morning and going to a supermarket and spend $400? What else you gonna? What else? How you gonna pay for utility? How you gonna pay for electricity? How you gonna pay for internet? How you gonna pay for your rent? You cannot spend this much money for this type of food. Look there. Look there. How much healthy food are in that shopping cart? That these same people will come back and get 1,000 every month from Medicaid, from medical assistance, because they eat unhealthy food. And Trump is going to stop that.
So I know y'all been waiting.
one thousand one
I ain't done
hundred
this in a couple of months, and the last
seventeen
one was
dollars
kind of
food stamp.
half-ass done. So
Again, I'm not
here
sure
we
if this
go.
is true,
Grocery
but it might be
haul.
true.
What I get with 1,117 food stamps a month. And mind y'all, this isn't all of it. This is just $719 of food stamps.
So she have $1,117 food stamp. Can you imagine? Every month, just 1 month, and then he spent around 700 something. 700 on food. That she doesn't even need that much food, but because she got free money, she's gonna spend it. Where do you know where that money come from? That money come from tax. That money come from other people's pockets who try to work every day. So imagine if everybody stopped to work, what's gonna happen? Watch.
I still have food stamps. So here we go. We're gonna start with the frozen foods first. Okay, guys, I'm sitting on the floor. Here we go.
Look at how she enjoys
If I only tell you
those are
what I
unhealthy
have,
food.
it's only one. Okay,
Unhealthy
so I'm gonna
food.
let you guys know how many.
Those
But
are
if I only say the name of it,
noodles
show
right
you,
there.
it's only one.
The other guy
So we're
was
gonna
killed.
start off with the Jimmy Dean breakfast sausages. We have two of
Look there.
these. Don't put that up there yet. The salmon,
So
fillet thingies, whatever.
you see that?
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Two eggs, 2 things of corn.
Oh, she's still young. She's still young. 10 years to come, she's gonna be in obesity community like everybody, and then she's gonna go to apply for assistance because she's eating those too many food that she doesn't even need. If it's not her, it's her kids. She look pretty good, but we don't know how whoever living in that house looks like. They eat unhealthy food and unnecessary food from some other people's money, and they're gonna come back to request for medical assistance because of what they eat. So that's a double spending from some people's money. That's what Trump is trying to stop, and the people don't understand that.
Should have showed you guys that with this other stuff. But anyway, Bubba snacks. Y'all know we can't go without those. Box of hot chips. A box of regular chips. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Top ramen
Oh
chicken
my
noodles.
goodness.
Cookie
I don't know
dough.
what to say here. Going to be surprised. I've seen it. I've seen it in some immigrants as well. They get too much food stamp, too much. 'Cause they give you a card that so you can spend it. You can. This is what they do because they get too much money. What they do, they look at friends and they tell them, "Hey, I will give you this card. You're going to pay to buy food, and they'll give me cash." And instead of his friend spending cash on a store in the store, he's gonna give cash to the guy with food stamp, so he can use his card to buy food, so he can get cash because you're not allowed to buy some stuff, clothes like alcohol, those kind of stuff. So they sell some of these chunk of food stamp so they can get cash to buy other stuff, alcohol, drug, whatever. You can name it. Watch this one. And this is the last one.
Nika spending and selling some of her $1,800 food stamps.
Almost 2,000 food stamp. Look, she have to spend it before I think the 30th or 31st of every month. Yeah, before you go, Trump is going to sell a green card for 5 million. 5 million, guys. So If you have $5 million, you can get a green card overnight. You don't have to go to DV Rotary. You don't have to go to all those process. You can just apply for green cards and then citizenship. That's it. So he's going to replace the program that was in place where investors can come to US to work. If you have 1 million and you can employ, I think, 10 people, you can apply and come to live to US. That program has been around for, I think, 19, no, 20, whatever, for like 20 years. Now, Trump is going to replace that with gold card. So you can buy it from wherever you are. Guess what? For you guys who have a green card, now you have to understand. Now you're going to understand how much Trump care for green cards. You're going to understand how much that costs. I know we spend, like myself, I came here that way. I spent a few thousand to be here, but I'm telling you, it costs 5 million today. $5 million. So you know you better protect that cards right now. That's how Trump care for. That's how much he care for. He cares for that cards. So if you are anywhere, buy it. But the question is, who really is going to buy to spend 5 million to come to live in US anyway? Who? Maybe a bunch of Saudi Arabia, because they got more money than they need. People from Qatar, people from where, China, India, maybe. But who's gonna spend five? If you have 5 million, are you really going to live in US? I don't think so. I don't think so. So he's trying to. He's one of the way he's gonna pay for the deficit. So he's gonna try to fight the deficit. But I don't think there is too many people who's going to spend 5 million for US passport. Because if you can make 5 million anywhere you are, dollars, I don't think you need to come over here anyway. But good news is the regular green card, the DV rotary, still in place. So don't be afraid. It's still in place. You can still try, and hundreds, thousand people come in this country. So that's good news for you guys, for rich people, you guys who have money or who can put money together and bring somebody or put money together from wherever you are and somebody, you can do it. So some people saying it may going to be to bring backlash to this country because no to this program because of bad people with bad intention may just take advantage of this program because they have money. We don't know. But Trump has a lot of way to do stuff, and that's one way to do it. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead subscribe. Now we will appreciate very much, and I will see you next time. Bye.